it's Dustin Brown. Today I wanted to talk about a couple intersecting concepts. So one of the main things we do is help people get to retirement. And retirement's not what it used to be. You don't put in your 20 to 40 years and get the gold watch at the end. It just doesn't work that way anymore. So it's not your grandparents' retirement where you're sitting in a rocking chair and just watching the clock until there's no more time. So traditionally, our industry looked at retirement as pretty simple, two-dimensional. So you've got working capital. How much investments do you have and how much income do they provide? So assets, working assets. Pile of cash isn't a working asset. And then lifestyle. So we have to consider, do you have enough to support your lifestyle? So it works like this, as the markets go up and down, as your lifestyle goes up and down, this changes. Any point here is dynamic. So inflation causes your need to go up. So deflation causes it to go down. Massive raise in your capital or income, preferably your income, your dividends and interest, or growth can be turned into income. It can be cannibalized. We can kill an investment and use that for cash flow, but we prefer cash flow for cash flow, not having to kill cows. Better to have milk. So that's the have enough concept. So working capital, lifestyle, cost of lifestyle. So you can think of it that way. That's that. What's your number? How much do I have to save? Well, how much you need is determined by how much you need. So what is the cost of your lifestyle? And we can calculate how much working capital we need to replace that lifestyle. Easy breezy. That's the easiest to do it. I can do it on a 10BHP2 financial calculator. Really easy. We can tell you how much you need to save to get there at a certain point. Because the markets are volatile and returns are varied, I like to think about when you can retire as sort of a bell curve. So, there's this, we put in a target date. That one doesn't show up well. Let's use purple. So we think you can retire in, X number of years, but market willing, we might shave off some years, or you might have to work a couple extra years. We don't control the economy. We just captain the ship. And we do the greatest good for the greatest many, and we build a portfolio that's most likely to get you there. So our main job is goal, risk, results, taxes, cost. So we're trying to get you there as quick as we can, safely. We can go a lot faster if we take all the airbags out of your car, seat belts. Who needs safety mechanisms? Nope, we need safety mechanisms. So we build those in your portfolio. So that's the have enough plane. It's a three-dimensional whiteboard here. So then there's I've had enough, because work can be trying. Work is work. That's why they pay us. And burnout is real, and particularly post-COVID or during any recession or any sort of economic upheaval, burnout can happen. Sometimes you get a bad boss. Burnout happens real quick. So the had enough is sort of your patience, your interest in what it is you do. Is it meaningful work? Do you still enjoy it? So think of that plane as, I've had enough. You get to a point where you're done. You've had enough. You're out of patience. You're out. So if you take that concept and then overlay it on this concept, your have enough may intersect with your had enough. And at that point, that's when you call it. It's time. I can't do this anymore. What lifestyle do I need to maintain? Because we can do that math. Currently, you've had enough. You need to quit. It's causing health issues, other stuff. We can do the math and say, okay, you can live within this budget. Make your lifestyle work within this budget. If you can't do it, well then, you may have had enough, but you don't have enough. So you have to go back to work. So that's a reality, and reality checks are important. Now, here's the new one. We've been operating on this concept for quite a while here in the office, but there's a third plane. It's this guy down here. And this one, it's hard to see in this video, and it's actually, sometimes it's hard to see in real life. So have enough, had enough, have somewhere else to be. So have somewhere else to be could be family, could be health. You might have to, you got to go to dialysis once a week. You got to take care of a sick loved ones. You have somewhere else to be. You got small children, and you don't want to miss, the most important prime years. The days are long, but the years are short. They grow up so fast. So that could be you have somewhere else to be. And so when you intersect these three concepts, you actually get 8 octants. So think about it as an X, Y, Z. There are 8 zones. So when to retire is I have enough, I've had enough, I have somewhere else to be. We've had quite a few cases where people hit their have enough, had enough, but they don't have anywhere else to be. They don't have family, they don't have hobbies, they don't have other interests. So sadly, I tend to fall, I have all those things, but I have not had enough, and I really enjoy what I do. So my had enough line tends to go down, not up. The longer I'm doing it, the more I enjoy it. So even though my have enough line is growing, I haven't had enough yet. And I have elsewhere to be, but I'm able to balance that. So I keep working. I may always keep working, and that's good. But there may be a time when I have had enough, like perhaps regulation changes. Like we've seen this in many fields where the regulation changes in a field, and suddenly you have a lot of happy workaholics that are now just sad workaholics. So burnout is real. So there's one particular industry that is dealing with very bad burnout right now. And those industries do cycle. I've seen them cycle over the last 20 years through different industries. So, and it could be economic changes, regulatory changes, something changed. But literally, I've had clients that suddenly ended up with a boss less than half their age, and suddenly they just don't enjoy it anymore, and they've had enough. So then we do the math. And it's important when you get to that retirement point, you have somewhere else to be. You have things to occupy your time. You don't want to just sit around and stare at the wall or sit in a rocking chair and whittle, probably. Maybe you do. If you do, great. But have enough, had enough, have somewhere else to be. So, and this could be temporary. So I love the concept of sabbaticals. There are some big institutions that used to require their employees to take a month or 2 or 3 months off every couple of years because it provided more balance. And if you have taken some time off to spend time with your small children, particularly newborns, you're pretty happy to get back to work most of the time because newborns are a whole lot of risk and a whole lot of work, and the return's great eventually, but sometimes in the moment it's not great. The days are long, the years are short. So if you don't have enough, but you've had enough and you have somewhere else to be, maybe it's not a permanent retirement. Maybe it's a sabbatical. I like the idea of sabbatical. Now, sabbaticals can go on too long to where it's hard to get back to work, so you have to be very careful with that. But the octant, this one here, this sort of, think about it as a cube that goes this way forever. That's the octant of happy retirement. I have enough to cover all my lifestyle. I've had enough of doing what I've been doing, and I have somewhere else to be. Sometimes we're seeing this more often, it's a career change. So have somewhere else to be is a partial retirement. It's a new career that cannot necessarily sustain your lifestyle, but you're semi-retired. Your working capital provides enough base lifestyle, and you're working for your wants and your wishes, and that's good. So there are, of course, 8 octants. So, I won't get too deep into that today, but this is the retirement octant, where you have enough, you've had enough, and you have somewhere else to be.